What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna be attempting at fixing one major flaw with the Teslas. Yes, I'm talking about the wireless charging pad. Now, as you all know already, the wireless charging pad, it doesn't really work. When it does, it slowly charges your phone, overheats the phone, and you kind of have to play with the phone to even get it to work. And yes, as you can see on the screen, those are actual customers complaining about the wireless charging pad. I'm not sure why Tesla hasn't fixed this issue yet, but just like this user here, I've also been looking into aftermarket wireless charging pad, but there's only one issue. It's not a direct fitment. And on top of that, it's probably 3D printed, and you want me to pay $72 just for that? No. So now I kept searching, and some users did get creative, Shout out to this user here. Now, although they may not look the best, but again, it does the job. But for me, it's not gonna work for my OCD. I want something clean, factory looking like. And then I kept searching and I came across this very specific post. Now, before I get into anything here, first off, I want to give a big shout out to him because he provided a lot of good insight on which fabric to get, all the materials that he used. So again, big shout out to him because he's really the one that inspired me to try my own version of the wireless charging pad. But also, to be honest, I feel like his looked the best out of all the other projects that I've seen online. So now with all of that being said, I'm gonna reverse engineer the piece. So I'm gonna bring it into my CAD software and I'm gonna try to go ahead and make my own. So let me stop doing all this talking. Let's get into it. Alright, perfect. So now that we have the piece out, this is all the tabs. As you all could see, I didn't break any of them. And trust me, you just gotta pull really hard to get it out. Now next, what I'm gonna be doing a full 3D scan of the entire piece just so I could have an idea and kind of gauge it. But also that would allow me to import this model into my CAD software and kind of like retrace all the outlines and kind of get a general idea of like all the measurements and everything. So let's go ahead and get to scanning. By the way, the 3D scanner that I'm using is called Metro X. I'll put the name up in the screen for you, but obviously this is their software that I'm also using just to mesh the model. Alright, so now we are in my favorite CAD software. It's called Plasticity. And then I've already got a head start and then I've already retraced the outlines just to kind of have like a general idea of like what it's gonna look like. Now enjoy this time lapse of just me tweaking the design and trying to figure it out. So here you go. Later. So obviously this is all the pieces that I've printed, tested, and when we started the design, we kind of started with this one. Everything was way off, all them holes, everything. I mean, not way off, but like it was off, and it didn't sit properly. And then now I went on to design number 2. I had this one, it kind of wanted to fit, but also there was kind of like a gap at the bottom. and I knew I wouldn't like that. Moved up to design number 3. Design number 3 was looking promising. Everything fitted correctly, but again, with the piece, the support at the bottom, so it wasn't fitting properly. This was prototype number 4, and this one actually fitted pretty good. So I'm gonna show you from the back. If I put it in like this.
Much later.
Now again, this is the centerpiece console remove from the car. And I'm gonna show you how to pop off the wireless charging pad. And as you can see, those little inserts in every corner, this is pretty much what's holding the wireless charging pad. And what I went ahead and did, I got me a long plier nose or whatever you want to call it, cutter. And then I'm pretty much getting it in between so I can cut the top of it so that way it'll be loose enough for me to remove the actual wireless charging pad. And what I'm, I guess, trying to do, I'm trying to remove as much as material that I can, just so that way it'll be easier for me to remove. But also when I'm putting in the next one, I'll have some sort of, I guess, gap or like space to glue it back together. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I want to assure you that you're not really going to break anything. I mean, you can't really break that stuff the way that it's sitting, but just want to let you know you're doing this at your own personal risk. I thought it'll be a fun project. I really hated the original, I guess, wireless charger that was in the car. So, I thought that I would just switch things up a little bit. But now, as you all could see, I'm trying to get it out and it's coming out pretty easily. So I already got this one out. The next one, you give it a little force, you jiggle it a little bit, and then it's gonna come out. Just don't panic, just take your time with it, and then everything will be good. This is obviously the centerpiece without the actual wireless charging pad. And this is the wireless charging pad itself. This is what it looks like. So now we're gonna go back into my computer and start working some more on the prototype. All right, y'all, we're back again, and this is my favorite CAD software. It's called Plasticity. Not sponsor or anything, but this is the CAD software that I use. Now, before I get into all the design and everything, the first prototype, it fitted correctly, nice and easy. And I've already printed a piece, and the piece came out pretty good, but there were like some lines showing, and I want to take my time this time and perfect the design. Yeah, so I'll put you on a time lapse. Enjoy the video. Okay, so now I have the prototype in my slicer, Bamboo Lab Studio. Now, first issue, we are way outside of the build plate and we wouldn't really be able to print it. So we only had three choices. I could either cut it in half so that way I could print both pieces separately, or maybe the little support extensions, I could remove them and then print them separately and glue them back together. First two options, it requires you to kind of separate the two pieces and glue them back together, which I wasn't really a fan of. So I tweaked it in a little bit, and now this is what I came up with. What I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be printing the entire piece at a 60-degree angle, just so that way it all could fit in my build plate, but also it'll be printed in one piece instead of just Frankenstein, pieces from all over the place and glue them together. No offense to that. It works when you do it, but me, I just didn't really want to have to do this, like the less that I have to do, then the better. So this is what I came up with. And as you're looking here, I'm just double checking like the sides and everything, make sure that everything is gonna print out smooth as possible. And then also I'm gonna be drying up my filament. I'm gonna clean my build plate. I'm gonna be using permanent glue stick. I'm gonna lay it all over my build plate just so I could make sure that it's gonna stick nice and it's not gonna move, just so that we don't have any issue with the print. But don't worry, I'm gonna put everything that I've used in this video in the description down below with a link. So if you're enjoying this video so far, go ahead and leave me a like, comment, share the video, and also subscribe to the channel. You know, I have way more mods coming in for the Tesla. So if you are into that kind of stuff, you know, go ahead and subscribe. I promise you won't be disappointed. This is my first time making this style of videos, so if I did okay, go ahead and leave me a comment. If I did bad, also like the video. But nonetheless, this is the settings that I'm gonna be using to print my prototype. Uh, the filament that I'm gonna be using is ABS. I recommend using ABS because it's made for high temperature, and since it's gonna be sitting in the car, you don't want it to be warping or anything. So I would recommend using like a high temp filament, you know, ASA, nylon, ABS, whatever you have laying around. But for my application here, I'm gonna be using ABS. Now I'm slicing the plate just so I could see exactly if there's any issues or like any error, but everything seems to be okay. And as you all could see, it's gonna take you almost about 330 gram of filament to print this entire prototype and about 10 hours and a half or so to fully print it out. Now, it is so rewarding getting to this point here because I've been working on this project for almost an entire month now. I do have a full-time job and I go to school full-time, so I wasn't really working on it every day whenever I could. So it's so rewarding seeing this final project here now. So I'm gonna go ahead and print it out and I'll show you guys what it looks like and how it fits in the entire center console piece. All right, y'all. So after 10 hours and a half, print is finally done. So this is how it came out. Um, this is, I'm not gonna lie. So this is looking really good, especially the surface. It's looking very smooth. Like I'll show you. See, like here. Oh, look at that, the little symbol. So obviously, this is where I'm gonna put the MagSafe charger, right? This is where I'm gonna route the cable, but it came out pretty good. I'm actually surprised. And then the piece, oh, oh man, yeah, I'm pulling this hard. Yeah, this is on there pretty tight. Yeah, I'm liking everything. The support, everything came out very smooth. You see here, like everything looks pretty good. And then the obvious imperfection that I could notice from the print is this one here, but that's gonna be hidden, so I'm not really too worried about that. Other than that, everything else looks good, man. See, like the support, very strong. Yeah, so that really did it. Now I ran to Best Buy real quick and I got the MagSafe charger. It was like $35 after taxes, so it's cheaper if you get it from Best Buy. I've seen them go on Amazon for like $40. I guess you could also get like an open box from Amazon for like maybe $30, but it's very inexpensive. So get you two of these. I got the 1 meter because the cable, it's long enough to even plug it into the car, so you don't really need the 2 meters, but you could get the 1 meter. So let me do a quick unboxing and then I'm gonna fit it in just to kind of show you exactly how it sits and how it fits. So this is the charger. Nothing new. You're gonna route the cable here, and then it fits perfectly, nice and snug. So put it here. You see this little slit? You put the cable in the little slit, and then you put it down, and pretty much you push down. There you go. So it's on there nice and tight, and everything is level. I made it tight enough so that way it could just hold it. Even if you were to shake it or whatever the case may be, this thing is not coming off. The only way to remove it, it's through the little groove I made in the back. Push down to remove the Magsafe charger if you wanted to remove it. But again, it's on there pretty nice and tight. I'm not gonna remove it. I'm gonna go ahead and insert the second one on there, and then now after that I'm gonna put it in their center console piece, test fit it, make sure everything aligns properly, and then we're gonna glue the fabric onto this one and move on to the next step. Perfect. It's gonna sit in just like this, and you see it's like perfectly mounted. It's like flush and everything. I couldn't find a close match to the actual color of the wireless charging pad like the previous one. It's like a, I guess, dark charcoal color. And then I've gotten close to the color. This is what I got. So this is the original piece, right? And then this is the fabric. See? Almost similar, but this one is a little bit more black. To bond the fabric onto the piece, this is what I'm using. After we're done, for me to glue the piece back into the center console, this is what I'm gonna be using. Also, before I do anything, with the Magsafe charger, it kind of has this little plastic on top of it. And then if you're gonna be wrapping this piece with the fabric, this is gonna be in the way. It's not gonna allow you to make full contact. So you do want to remove this before you even glue the fabric onto this piece. So let me show you real quick how to remove that. Get yourself a scraper. That's gonna help you save a lot of time. Yeah, but now for this project, one, you want to get you a pair of gloves. That's gonna help because you don't want this product to be making contact with your skin. And then two, also do it outside in like a ventilated area and get yourself a mask because it has a pretty strong smell. But nonetheless, what I'm doing here, I'm slowly going and gluing the fabric onto the piece so I could make sure I'm really taking my time getting to the corners and everything just so I could fully apply the glue all around and make sure that it sticks. Now also, if you look at the video, you would see while I was trying to glue the fabric onto the piece, I had to go back with my scraper and remove the excess plastic from the Magsafe charger. So that's why I had you remove it from the jump, because if you don't, then the glue is gonna start lifting the plastic cover, and then it's not even gonna allow you to glue the fabric onto the piece. So that's why you have to remove it. Now what I'm doing, gluing the piece back to the center console, and for that, just wanted to be safe, I used kind of like some napkins and also some clamps just so I could make sure it stays on there pretty tight, so that way it's not moving around or lifting. And then usually with the glue, it should be good within like 15 to like 30 minutes, but just to kind of play it safe, I left it, outside for about 4 to 5 hours just so I could make sure. And then now this is exactly what it looks like. And here, I was just sanding down the glue just so I could make it look nice, but it's not necessary. So obviously, this is how it's gonna look like in the car. And funny enough, when I was testing this, my USB-C port connection, I guess, whatever you wanna call that, it's only one side was working. So the passenger side was completely out. I'm not sure how this happened, but the passenger side wasn't working at all. So I took the liberty to just upgrade to the one that does have the data port connection. But you don't really need to be doing this step, but only because mine wasn't working. And instead of just buying another one, so I figured, I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and upgrade to the one that has the data connection. So that's why I'm replacing this one, full transparency, but you don't need to be worrying about this. I'm pretty sure yours will work. So this is what I was talking about. So if you look, this is what came with the car. This is blocked off. It only has space for one connection here. This is where I'm gonna run the cable. So there's like this gap up here. So I'm gonna run the cable behind it. Then they're gonna come out this way. So that's the second one. Now, with this setup, I went above and beyond just a little bit. And you really don't have to do this because if you feed the cable through here, it's still going to reach, right? It's still going to, let me show you real quick. So you see, like you would still reach. I drilled just a little hole, if you could see it, here, just so I could feed the cable through here so that way, it doesn't get catch when this one is like opening and closing. Again, you don't really have to do this, but I just wanted to play it safe. So this is how it's gonna look like. And then the second cable, pretty much do the same. Feed this one here, you pull up just a little bit, and there you go. When you open it, just so you could see, boom, then closes, opens up, closes. See, like the cable is not really in the way. I'm gonna close this one up, and then I'm gonna finally mount the centerpiece. Now let's test it out real quick, and then boom, it's charging. And the second one, same as well, works. Now, not only that we have upgraded the wireless charging pad, but I know for sure that my phone is not going to be overheating. It's really going to be charging my phone. And unlike the previous wireless charger, it's not going to take an entire day to charge my phone from 20% to 22%. Now, I do want to address this because I know some of you guys are going to ask me this question. I know you're going to ask me, oh, why didn't you just design the original factory piece and then you could just drop it in and stuff? And I just want to show you something. So first off, um, I could just repair this and that's no problem. But also, we are outside of the build plate. So unless you do have like a 3D printer that's like 300 by 300 mil, you're not going to be able to print it on your regular 3D printer because most 3D printers build plate are 256 by 256 millimeters. Now, the second thing, it takes too long to print this prototype. It took me almost 18 hours to print this one, and still it came out looking raggedy. I didn't like the print quality. Last but not least, also by printing this model, even if I did print it at the 60-degree angle, it had so many freaking support in between. It took me almost 2 hours to remove all the extra supports. And I'm like, no, this is just too much work. And when you look at the design, All this extra stuff that you're seeing here, it was for the original wireless charger, which we're not gonna be even using. So I figured, I'm like, if I could just simplify this model and then just make my own version of it, then that would be better. That's why I didn't, go with this design here. But again, I do want to challenge you guys. If any of you are good in Fusion, whatever CAD software that you use to reverse engineer stuff, then I'm happy to send you this STL file. But for me, it would just take me way too much time to just work on, and I just wasn't a fan of how the print came out. But if you're up for the challenge, again, I could send you this STL file. I've already cleaned it up and everything is all good to go. Measurements are a little bit off, so you would need to, tweak it a little bit. But if you're up for that challenge, I could send you the STL file. Now, if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, again, I do want to thank you for watching this video. Now, let me know, what do you think about the design? Is there anything you would want me to add, remove, change? Let me know in the comments down below. But also, for all my new subscribers, I want to do a giveaway. So whenever I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna be giving away 3 of them. So they're already gonna be wrapped with the fabric, and they're already gonna have the Magsafe charger. So only thing you would really have to do, just remove your existing one, drop this new one back in, and then it should already be good to go for you. But also, everything that I've used in this video, I'm gonna have it down below in the description, just in case if you want to attempt this project. But nonetheless, again, I appreciate you guys for clicking and watching this video. Until the next one.